Welcome everyone. My name is Marco Zampolli. I am a Senior PSM and Solution Architect. Today we will speak about a partnership that we are having with a Danish company called Secomea. First point of the presentation is to start with why. Why we decided to have this. Having a look to what the customer is looking, they want to have the opportunity to connect to a remote machine for maintenance purpose and for troubleshooting. And today, more and more, it is about cybersecurity to patch the system. Not only, the customer is also looking for being able to connect to a machine and being able to connect to other devices connected to this machine. So to have a single point of entry and then being able to manage and maintain all the products around. Why the customer is looking to do this in a good and efficient way? Simply because this would bring him operational cost reduction, and we all know how important it is. And second, they can save time over qualified engineers, simply because they can connect to the machine, they can manage the machine without any trouble. So they can do multiple operations in the same day. Why? We need a secure communication, secure and simple. Because nowadays it is clear that the automation based on IPC is becoming the reality. It is becoming a trend in the market, thanks to the bigger flexibility that it is bringing. But of course, the IPC needs also to have maintenance. Second, we have a lot of customers that are really experienced know-how in OT, so operational technology, and they have less background in IT, information technology. So having a remote connection is a difficult point. Second, having a remote connection with a secure and safe communication is even difficult. The customer doesn't want to invest in IT skills because their skill is really OT oriented. And the customer want to rely on a security that is proven to work. This means certified about cybersecurity. And then new business model, but we will just see later. Why we have decided to work with Secomea? Secomea is a tier 1 company in this kind of solution. And we all know that in the IoT era, it is not only important to provide all the service, but you need to provide all the service with a really high level of service type. This means that we need to work with the best in class, and the best in class in this case is Secomea. Secomea is quite important and well known because it is providing cybersecurity due diligence assessment by a third-party company. You can see that they have a security certificate about 62443 certificate. What do you need to work with Secomea and to have in place? You don't need to have any public IP. You don't need to have any skill to create a VPN, a full configurable VPN. So why Advantech and Secomea are co-working? Simply to be able to offer a one-stop solution. This means being able to equip our embedded PC, no matter if it is an embedded edge gateway or if it is an HMI, already set up and configured with the licensing in order to have remote connectivity. The additional point is that you don't need to have any additional component or integration. How this is working? Let's have a look. So in this picture, you have 4 components. The first one is in the blue box. You have customer R&D office. Customer R&D office is where the maintenance people, the service people, the R&D engineering are sitting. And as we were discussing before, we are not looking to make them travel all around the world. Then we have a castle, that is the remote connection, managed by Secomea. So the data center of the connectivity, managing, routing all the connectivity is hosted by Secomea for Advantech. Then in the red square, you have the Advantech edge computing. Could be an embedded box like the UNO, or could be an HMI like the TPC. The point is that the R&D people, so the blue box, can easily connect down to the red box without any problem, without having any public IP, without setting up any particular VPN, without having to have knowledge about the IT. It is simply a transparent connection. The good point, and here we are on the right side in the equipment in factories, we are the R&D people, the R&D office on the blue side is able to have the connection and the capability of having overview about the devices on the extreme right. Without that, these devices are able to run any particular software. So at the end, this is the model. We are able to have everything, the data streaming to a cloud, to a secure cloud, no matter which is the connectivity type that you have in your devices. And then you have UNO, WISE, that are connecting to this cloud and are making able the Advantech customer headquarters, the green box in this slide, to have connectivity to the remote I/O or to the PLC connected to the UNO. This means that you can easily reach remote monitoring, performance overview, predictive maintenance, or health status monitoring. So this is the result. The customer, with just a few clicks, is able to connect to the machine in a transparent way. The key point is that there is no need to do any particular setup on the gate manager that is hosting the service. It is just a plug-and-play solution. We have two license types. First one is called Link Manager. This is the license that must be installed on the office PC of the R&D people, of the maintenance people that are sitting into the customer office. Then we need to have a Set Manager embedded license. This is the kind of license that is enabling every edge computing, embedded PC or HMI, to be able to connect to through Secomea technology. Let's start with the Link Manager topology. This is just a floating license. This means that it counts only if it is used. This means that if you have an R&D office of 100 people, but only 10 people are actively working on a remote management, you just need to have a 10 license. So now it is a floating license that is used when the connection is active. And then on the floor license, we have three different types of licenses. The first one is called basic. It means that you can have the full control of the device. Then you have the extended 5 or the extended 10. What does it mean? And which is the difference compared to the previous one? It's simply the only difference is that in addition to the control of the unit is in the field, you are able to connect to 4 or to 9 different devices into the field. So this is the key point. And again, the devices into the field could be an operator panel, could be remote I/O, could be a PLC, could be a robot arm. Doesn't need to have any software change. So even for the automation point of view, you don't need to bring any change to your actual topology. You just need to add a smooth runtime, transparent service into the gateway that you're already using for other tasks. This is the target of the relationship, of the partnership, having the already used hardware enabling a different kind of service, so remote maintenance, safe and secure. And this is just a summary of what you need to do. You need to have one license for the site manager, and for each site manager you need a license, and the R&D people just need a license when the connection is active, so link manager. And this is just a small overview about what we are able to offer. So as you can see, the systems are compatible with Linux and Windows at the same time, but mainly speaking, we are already offering the Windows 10 compatibility support. In case of project, feel free to let us know. There is another opportunity, that is being able to provide to our customer some service that they can resell. So it is servitization of the customer. This means that the customer actually, instead of having the remote control of the machine, can sell the service. Think about an end customer with multiple sites. Maybe they are encountering the same problem, being able to connect to the different sites. And in this way, they can simply provide a new service to the customer. This means that Secomea is not only a service for our customer, but it is even a service for our end customer. And what about the others? Here, I was just providing a little bit an overview about what the other players in the market of the remote maintenance are offering. Secomea, as I was telling you, is one of the best one for, I will leave this table for you, but the key point is that Secomea is allowing deeply safe certification. So the authentication is not done only on username and password. It is made by username, password, and certificate. As a second point, Secomea is able to connect to a machine connected to our machine, so the so-called pass-through solution. Third one, Secomea is able to provide security self-assessment of what they are providing. This means that the security is proven by a third-party laboratory. For your information, all the communication are encrypted with the protocol TLS 1.2. This is just a practical slide. What you need when you want to activate an account over Secomea. With Secomea enabled solution, you just need to provide account name, contact name, and email. In this way, everything is completely inserted into the Secomea system, into the Secomea portal, and you will receive all the information. So no further manual activity, simply because if you remember, we were discussing about cybersecurity. So once the ordering is done, then there is no any further activity to be done. Everything is managed by the system with a cybersecurity assessment on top. And right now, I wanted just to highlight a few examples of what we are able to provide with Secomea. So this is the first topology that I want to share with you. In this slide, you can see a notebook that is something that is in R&D side, a Uno that is an embedded PC on the field side, and an Atom, a typical example of remote IO that you need to have in your plant. What we are able to have once the notebook and the window has the internet connection, and be careful, there is no limitation over the internet connection. Whatever internet connection you want, could be wireless, could be wired, could be LTE, could be narrow bandwidth. They can connect them. When they can connect, a secure communication can be established. This means that the window can be controlled, of course, and that the atom can be controlled as well. So we have a direct connectivity between the notebook and the atom. You have the so-called pass-through. Another important feature of an industrial solution is to be able to manage the user. So every user that is activating this kind of connectivity can be remotely controlled and controlled by the portal of this kind of a Secomea solution. This means that we can limit what the user, the typical user, can do. We can even going down for the timing. So we can have some scheduling of the time. So this is completely what we can do. This is an easy example just to show you what we can do. Last but not least, at the end of each day, we can have an audit. It means that we can really know who connected to what and which kind of and how many quantities of information they shared. So this is the typical quality process. You are able to track and trace everything that the user is doing, and you are able to control, to grant the access to this. This is quite important, quite unique in the market. Second part is about the WebOP. Why I decided to have a WebOP? Simply because the WebOP has a software, a web designer, that cannot be easily installed on the Uno, because otherwise we need a much powerful Uno. So what about just having the web designer on the PC that is used in the office, and then just be remotely connected? So the Uno itself doesn't have anything else than the Secomea runtime, and the notebook PC is able just to deploy the runtime project on the WebOP. This is just an example using the Advantech product, but it is exactly the same if you think to swap the WebOP with another product, for example, a PLC, any brand PLC. And this is the last part. I was using Apex because Apex, when we did the testing, was the platform available. Now we have Amax, and this is the same. Think about Amax with codices on board. If you want to be able to do on-the-flight update, change something, or monitoring something, you can easily do it this way. So you can simply get them. Last but not least, today I was pointing out that Secomea with Advantech is enabling a safe and simple communication. But this kind of technology is even able to provide some answer to a typical machine builder use. Let me explain a little bit. When a machine builder is creating their own machine, they are always having multiple machines with the same configuration. Same configuration means same IP address. What is happening if different machines with the same IP address are remotely connecting to the same target? It would be a mess. That's why Secomea is able to manage nothing. So network address translation. This means that even if all the machines are sharing the same IP, and this is a common usage in all the machine builder association, builders, all the machine builder producer, when they are reaching the gate manager, they are able to identify by the different source. And this means that the R&D manager at the end of the day are able to recognize and to operate on the different machines. So this is quite a unique and selling point with the machine builder. Last but not least, it is quite important about the knowledge. So I just highlight here two links of the knowledge base from Secomea that are able to provide you idea about how Secomea is working, going into details, and on the second link you have scenario of application. Again, the key point is being able to provide our tier 1 solution over the embedded computing, over the HMI computing with Secomea on top. I hope that you find great interest in this new collaboration. Feel free to let me know if you have any details or any doubts about it. Thanks a lot and have a nice day.